Hey there, I'm Garth. I'm the animation tutor. I create a whole bunch of courses and mentorships that are specifically built for students to build their portfolio to get into their top choice animation schools. I've been helping young artists become animators for over 10 years now, and I've gotten over 100 students into colleges like Sheridan, Seneca, Capilano, RISD, SVA, CalArts, Gobelins, and the Animation Workshop in Denmark. I've taught students from all around the globe get into these incredible animation schools, and honestly, it's never hard to get students excited about animation because it's such an incredible medium. So check out my website to see all the courses and mentorships that I offer, or book a meeting with me and I can kind of go through all the different learning resources that we have with you. Thanks for listening and enjoy the student interview. There we go.
Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Oh
How are
yeah,
you,
I'm here, I'm
Sherry?
here. Hello, hey, I'm doing pretty good, thank you.
Great. So how does it feel to be accepted this year?
Um, I'm pretty surprised I got like a really high score actually.
You did.
Yeah, because I started working on my portfolio, I think like deciding to do art only last year. So it was kind of like the whole thing
Okay.
was very rushed.
Wow.
It was like, I don't know, like speed running, getting used to the portfolio requirements, learning
Yeah.
the actual techniques.
And was this your first time applying?
Yes, it is.
Oh wow. Okay. So were you in high school this year and you applied
Yeah,
for the
I
first?
haven't graduated yet.
Wow. Okay. So not only is this your first time applying, but you made this portfolio while being in high school
Yeah,
and
it
you
wasn't
got
that bad. Yeah, it wasn't that bad for me because like unlike a lot of other people that had to struggle more with their academics, I kind of like set my schedule up so I wouldn't have a lot of work to do. So I just did
okay.
like I like balanced my work as best as I could.
Great. Did you have like
Mm.
a lighter semester or term in your second term, or
Sorry?
did you just have like classes that didn't involve as much homework around the time of
Oh
the
yeah, yeah.
portfolio, or?
I took like um there's like the calculus, and like for example, and then I took the
Sure.
easier version of that. So
Okay. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, that is incredible. Like,
thank you.
you are quite, I'm sure you know this, but you're quite an exception. Let's have a look at your score
Thank
sheet.
you.
Like to be applying for the first time and get a score like this is just very, very uncommon. That is,
Yeah, thanks. I think I definitely got lucky with the professor as well, but like
yeah.
I'm very glad I got such a high score.
Yeah, you got to cut them at a good time maybe, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I did look through your portfolio and I'm super impressed. Consider Yeah. So you didn't
Thank
go
you.
to like one of those art specific high schools, did you? Or
I actually did. Like my high school has an art program, and I think that's like it's like a mini school. I think that's what got me into
okay.
doing art seriously. But yeah,
Okay.
it's more like
Okay,
fine
great.
arts.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is incredible. When I first looked at this, I'm like, so where are the marks lost? And, okay, the two categories, but wow, this is really good. So, well, we'll have a look at, so we know that it's just one-off perspective and personal. So we'll have a look at
Yeah.
those and try and figure out what it was. But otherwise, if you want to mention anything throughout the whole process of going through your work here, then just let me know, Sherry, and
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, okay, so tell me about your life drawing practice. So, how frequently did you have live sessions? What was your method?
Oh yeah. Okay. So about this, I had never done life drawing before, like when I first decided to do art. So I only had like a year to cram it. So I basically did it
Wow.
every single day. Um,
Okay.
I I check. Do you know like Line of Action and New Masters
Yeah,
Academy?
of course.
At first I used Line of Action, and I
Sure.
got like really bored of the poses, so I started looking for more references, and
Yeah,
I found New Masters Academy. So basically, for every single day, I would just do um a bunch of gestures. Sometimes I would do
sure.
like fives and tens, but mostly it
Okay.
would take me like 40 minutes to an hour. And I would
Okay.
just do that every single day. And then I take photos and write like the days, like like for example,
Oh, great.
2 minute poses, day 17 or something like that. And I just did that so I could keep track of my
Wow.
progress because I'm someone that does better when I have to like, have like a visual reminder that I'm actually making progress.
Sure.
So I think
Yeah.
that definitely helped me a lot, yeah.
That's wonderful.
And
So,
for live sessions,
yeah.
I was at my art studio and they had those like once every 2 weeks, which probably isn't ideal, but it was okay for me because I was still doing mine pretty
Okay.
frequently.
Sorry, what do you mean your studio? Like, what is that?
Oh, it's just like an art studio to help me prepare my portfolio.
Okay, great. So there is a local art
Yep.
story studio. So where are you based again, Sherry?
I'm in Vancouver.
Vancouver. Okay, so there is a
Yeah.
local. Yeah, actually, I've heard of some local art drawing sessions in Vancouver,
Yeah.
so that's great. Well, these are excellent.
There's like
And
one place I've went there a couple of times. It's also very good.
okay. And you must have like Sheridan has a particular style, right, of life drawing. Did you reference other portfolio videos or how did you kind of you really captured that really well? Or maybe this just is your natural way of drawing. I'm not sure, but
Thank
did you
you.
do much research for like what they're kind of looking for here?
Well, for me, I'm also someone that has to make sure I know like exactly what I'm getting into before I
Sure.
start doing stuff myself. So
Yeah.
I looked like obsessively into other people's portfolios.
Okay.
YouTube, I've probably watched like every single video out there.
Yeah.
um,
Great.
yeah, I made sure to like. I think the biggest thing for me was I kept like albums of references for every
Yeah.
single section there was, and I'd look on those frequently. But obviously, it's not sorry, I spoke up.
No
It's
problem.
obviously not a very good idea to like only look at portfolios, you know. So I also made sure to
Yeah.
look at like I'd say professional artists and their work, and that applies
Yeah.
the same for figure drawing too.
Great. That's a great tip. Great tip. Okay, hand drawing. So,
Oh my god.
wow, this is great. Um, such a smooth lines here. That's fantastic.
Thank you. I'm
Um,
so glad it comes across.
yeah. So this it sounds like this took a lot out of you, or
Okay,
what?
I did probably over a dozen pairs to practice because I kept thinking they
Wow.
were not going to be good enough. So
Sure.
I'm glad I got something that I was satisfied with at the end.
Yeah. Well, and they agree. 10 out of 10. That's fantastic. I really like this section right here. Just I love when there's one piece overlapping the next and
Oh my
the
god, yeah, thank
structure's
you.
so clear in this area. It's like, wow, the ulna you could argue is maybe slightly overemphasized, but Sheridan actually does
Yeah,
really like a
definitely.
little bit of that. They like to really notice the differences between the bony
Mm-hmm.
areas and the more
Mm-hmm.
muscular areas and the fattier areas, Like it's
Yeah,
nice
I
to
took a
have that
photo of my
variation.
mom's hand instead of mine just to have more
Oh,
like,
sure.
I guess, variety.
Yeah, nice. Wow, that's excellent. Um, and your character, who upon opening your portfolio recently, I was like, oh, it's this. I remember seeing this
Yeah,
progress,
yeah,
or
yeah.
like,
Yeah, I
I
signed up
think,
for one of like your free sessions. It was really helpful.
yeah, yeah, yeah. This is such a fun character.
Thanks.
Wow, it's like a rat.
Hmm.
Yeah. Wow, just so. Like I actually, you know what? Of the top portfolios this year, a fair few of them I've noticed are animals, and I don't think it's inherently the fact that it's an animal that's scoring well, but animals do have these features that allow the shape language to be more interesting, like your
Yeah,
ears,
I'd say
your
yeah.
snout, like the I mean the proportion could have been brought to like a character, a human too, but yeah, just like it's so dynamic and just super well done. So
Oh my
I'm
god, this
sure you're
was
very
such a
proud
pain
of
to
this
do,
guy.
but
Yeah. It
yeah,
looks very fun.
took
Is
me
this like
so long.
is this you? Is this what this is sort of meant to represent at the end of the portfolio process?
I'd say definitely. I'd say less the end, more the middle for me.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure. Huh, neat. Wow, that's so great.
I struggled a lot with the legs, especially.
Yeah. I'm just noticing what's there's these two pieces right here. And I
Oh,
don't
it was supposed to be like a frayed. Oh my god. Oh my god, they didn't notice. It was like a frayed belt, but I guess it just
Yeah.
didn't add it anywhere else.
That's funny. That's why I was like,
Holy crap.
I'm guessing
I
there's
did
something
not
going on
notice
there,
that.
but well, neither did they, so that's fine.
Oh my god.
They
Okay.
liked it well enough that they're like, small detail.
Yeah.
Um, well, Sherry, this is so great. I mean, yeah,
Thank
this
you.
is such a fun character, holy. You even I was like, what's going on with his crotch there? But I see that you even denoted where his
I
tail would be coming out of the
was
back.
like,
So wow.
better safe than sorry.
Sure. Yeah. That was that was the storyboard prompt, I think, either last year or the year before.
It
Better
was,
safe
yeah,
than
it was.
sorry. So it's a good little motif to drill into the students. Oh, that's personal work. Okay,
Yeah.
so short animation, another perfect score. Holy. So you animated this on ones, it looks like, right?
Yeah, I'd say right now I kind of still don't really get the ones and twos thing.
Sure.
This is just on Procreate, yeah.
Okay. Well, holy, it is silky smooth.
Thank you.
It's just so, ooh. buttery. It's just like smoother than live action. That is that is fantastic. But I mean, not to diminish all the other amazing things going on here. Like the multiple bounces and then the antenna follow through of each of those bounces is so it's like just perfect. So
Thank you.
I'm not surprised. You even have a little bit of a lean, a little shifty kind of thing going on from left to right,
I
it
did,
looks
yeah, yeah,
like.
yeah. It's like a slightly unbalanced, like
Yeah.
when a person like in cartoons where they stop at the edge of a cliff and they wave their arms. I was going for that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I like how here, because you jump from the middle to slightly to the left, you have that edge favoring the left. It's not
Hmm.
just kind of balanced. Let's try that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you favor the other direction. And then that, oh, wow. Just excellent. Holy.
Thank you.
I could watch this for ages.
It took me like 30 hours. Oh my God.
Had you done it previously, or was this your first kick at it?
It's my first try actually. I
Wow.
definitely should have practiced before, but I really did not want to, so
Wow. I have a
I probably
feeling
should
that
have done.
you're a wonderful student and you
Thank you.
just are put so many hours into things until it's great. So that's what I'm getting. Okay, storyboard. Everyone's most afraid. There it
Oh, there
is.
it is.
Okay, great. Um, oh yes, excellent. So
Oh,
this
Stewie.
this is another example of one where wait, did you got perfect on your storyboard mark, I
I
guess.
did, yeah, I did.
Holy, wow. I have seen probably, actually, I don't know if I've seen a single perfect mark this year, so you're the first one. This is fantastic. One thing that I really wanted to emphasize about what I see here is that this is such a nice, simple scenario. It's like you're not trying to bite off like a huge, crazy story. It's just, it's super clear. And you're doing a lot with your shots too. From the first shot, the whole situation is set up. Like
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
poses of each character and then the thing, it's like, could you be more clear about what the setup is? It's like so great. And we even see the plane. I mean, we don't even need to necessarily, but we see it, and then it makes it easier to accept it in the second shot.
Hmm.
That's great. We're getting more of a close up. And then I think you did a really fun thing with this shot. You did a like fisheye kind of like warped
Yeah.
perspective, almost as if we're feeling the impact of that plane hitting us as the viewer, as the camera. So I think that's super fun. So tell me about this third panel. How was that to figure out like the perspective, or did you have a
Oh
fisheye?
my God. Okay, so for my third panel initially, I had like obviously straight lines perspective, like it was in perspective and everything. And
Yeah.
I couldn't figure it out. I was like, why it's so boring. Like I was looking at the whole thing and I was like, you know what? Maybe I just gotta take that and like get, I don't know, like a 15 or something. But
Sure.
um one of my teachers suggested I try like this kind of more extreme panel. And like it
Mm,
never really occurred to me at that point in the storyboard to actually bend the perspective because I was
sure.
so set on like, oh my God, I need to like make it accurate or else like because Sheridan like stuff like, guidelines,
Yeah.
perspective, that kind of thing.
Mm,
And it never really occurred to me. But I was like, if I do this, it isn't really breaking like it's breaking the rules, but it's breaking the right ones. So I
yeah.
tried this and like I tried a few thumbnails and I was like, this works so much better. And then, I got
Great.
this.
Awesome. Wow. That's great. Yeah, it's just so clear. We see a good diversity of different emotions of the fox too. It's not just the
Yeah.
sort of the nor well, the two that they give you. Like you've done more expressions than what they give you. And
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. It's so like clear and concise and just works. I don't know. There's not so I guess the takeaway here for anyone watching this at some point is like you don't need to do a complicated story. In fact, better if you
Yeah, you
don't do a
definitely don't.
complicated
That makes
story.
things a lot harder.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, that's great. Very on model too, obviously. Like I don't know. This is
Oh,
really
I did so many Fox practices.
I bet. Yeah. Wow. Really nice, Sherry. That's
Thank you.
fantastic. Layouts. Okay, so a point was lost here somehow. That's
I can
bizarre.
definitely see why, yeah.
Hmm.
I think they're probably I think the main thing for mine is probably they're a bit too busy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this one's so fun. Wow. What a
I
fun
still like them
story.
though.
Yeah.
I think I like the interior a bit more.
Yeah, and one thing I'm noticing, I'm not sure if this is the case on yours too, but the line quality here is beautiful, really great, super
Mhm.
clean. And then this one's it's a little
Yeah,
worse.
a little fuzzy, isn't
It's
it?
almost
It's
like
because I
certain
was
things have been
sizing it up
enlarged.
and down all the time. Like I
Yeah,
changed kind of the
okay.
size of it a lot.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Um I mean, I love this little dynamic, the little babies there. That's a fun. Like we got a story here, very clear.
Hmm.
Same here. It's like the sort of down and out clown who's like not doing so well, maybe. Yeah. Oh, great. Well, I mean, whatever. 14 out of 15. Who needs it? Who needs the last
Easy.
point? Um,
Not me.
yeah, really great. Nice line quality diversity anyways, like foreground, background, very clear. Yeah. What software are you using to draw? You mentioned Procreate earlier. We're using that pretty
Yeah,
much
just
throughout
Procreate. Only Procreate. I
for
only
the
have an
whole
iPad.
portfolio mostly aside from the traditional stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. Great. Jeez, big shout out for Procreate. Okay, well, great. So then the personal work. The funny thing is,
Yes.
I remember this one. I remember we were
Yeah, I
chatting
showed you
about this
this.
one a long time ago.
Mhm.
I don't know what it was exactly, but we had that session and we were chatting with this one in particular. So I'm so glad this made it. But wow, what a dynamic. Like I love a good layout where there's different levels, you know? I think
Mhm.
that is a nice thing to show because there's just more going on. It's got an interesting story happening here. So
Mhm.
yeah, you even gave us a nice little kind of like sense of where what's the story is and what the scene is. That's a really nice consideration.
Yeah. I remember you told me to like define the like the little green characters in the back a bit more, but I got so lazy, so I just
Yeah.
didn't do it.
I mean, we see the main things. This guy's really contrasting. I almost expect him to be a sort of important character or something. But
Mhm.
yeah, very warm palette too. I'm just realizing it's got this deep saturation and warmth to it overall. So it brings out that intensity a little bit. And then
I
the
think I'm definitely
backlight.
used to like a warmer palette, yeah. And then
Yeah.
like even though this one was supposed to be green bluey, it's still
Mm.
like it's definitely still showed.
Yeah. No, it's really nice. Oh, great.
Oh my clown.
Sweet. Great way of laying this out. Super clear, very like functional and like and different views of the face. Sometimes I see a lot of faces that are straight on. By not having it straight on, these are so much more dynamic. So that's
Mhm.
awesome. Really, really great. And I like this scene too. It looks like the troublemaker sort of jester clown character. This
Yeah,
guy's like, okay,
definitely.
we got to get
Definitely
on.
did.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
really hard to like put the background character in and make them stand out, so they still kind of blended in the end. But you know,
Sure.
you get what you get.
Yeah. Another really warm palette. That's
Yeah,
fun. Oh yeah, and I
I
remember this
forgot.
one too. You were sort of not sure about this,
Yeah,
but you included it. That's
I
great.
just included just to have more traditional because like they
Sure.
do a like complete digital is still okay, but I've
Yeah.
heard traditional can be an asset.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
I
great.
just included to be like, oh, I can paint
Yeah. Not just digitally. It's always great to have a character lineup.
all this lineup.
And you've got a great variety of shapes here. That's really fun. Yeah.
I redid this one once. I had like a previous one. I was like, no, I can do better.
Yeah. That's great. It seems like that's a common theme, I would say, throughout your portfolios that you did
Definitely.
redo things
Oh
quite a
yeah. I
bit.
think it's like half me being like, oh, like this has to meet the standard, and also half me not being sure myself. But I got
Sure.
where I am in the end, so
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I love this. I just like,
me too, honestly. Thank you.
oh, such a nice, it's like, it's one thing to see a storyboard, but a color script is just so much richer and like,
Mhm.
it's got a real, the mood is just so evident here. So that's awesome. And just, yeah, I mean, your coloring style is also just very clear. It's super
Mhm.
clear. The lighting is obvious. Like, I could definitely see you working in like visual development or something like that because,
I think it mainly has to do with me using a lot of like the lasso tool.
yeah,
Then I
that's
can like
great. I
block
love it
out my
too.
values more.
Yeah, it lets you, it's funny because some people feel like the lassos makes it more like sort of technical, less painterly, but it
Mhm.
actually, the nice thing about it, I think, is that it lets you focus on the actual drawing of the shapes more.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you're still drawing. It's just in a
Mhm.
totally different format than traditional. But yeah, really nice. Even like this shot, this is a small shot, but wow, how clear is that? Like that's great. Wow, really nice. I think that was a great thing. And honestly, I don't see them that much. I see the occasional color script, but not all the time. So
Mhm.
yeah, really awesome. Some more visual development. That's great of
Yeah.
different little scenes. Did you have little prompts for yourself, or did you just kind of draw?
Yeah, so like the first two is like my characters kind of I guess where they live or lived. And
Sure.
then the second one is just like them together in a market.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
I think I really wanted to focus on colors for my personal just because like the
Yeah.
portfolio itself is so much line quality and like
Yeah.
line work.
hmm It's a good idea. And some layouts, right? Like there's
Mhm.
the two layouts, but it's nice to see like in this. there's a whole bunch of little sort of suggested layouts in the background, so
Mhm.
that's awesome. And layout here, layout here, layout here. Yeah, you got a full portfolio, and then I think you've got a sketchbook too. Let's have a look at that.
Yeah, I do. PDF.
Come up over here. Oh, nice. Wow. Even just on this single page, there's such a great
There's so
variety
much
of
going
things,
on. Oh my
from
God.
layout to characters to this little fun little scene here. Hands, observational vehicles, which look a little pushed, or maybe even from your imagination or
Mhm.
something.
Yeah,
Those
they're
are
like from Pinterest. It was like
nice.
kind of blind contoury.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, I like it. Um, yeah, wow. Really nice. Oh, Tofino. Beautiful place.
Yeah, I love
Been
Tofino.
there. Yeah. Nice. Nice line. I like the clarity of your pen lines. I'm also just like a big, I mean, I love all medium, honestly. I love working with dry materials too, but the ink just shows up so nicely in
I
photograph. Like
know.
it's so
Yeah,
easy
definitely. And
to,
also when you're scanning it.
yes, exactly. Wow, this is great. Nice just like page layouts too. Like this is fun how it just, we see a little bit of a bunch of different things, and it involves
Mhm.
motion too. That's great. And some animals. Do you like drawing animals, or do you do this as a way to broaden your portfolio?
I mean, I don't mind it. I think I've grown more into liking it in the end,
Sure.
but definitely at the beginning it was, oh, I did not like it. I
Yeah. Yeah.
think what helped me a lot is watch like choose one animal, like for example a monkey, and then just
Sure.
watch documentaries about them while drawing, like pause and then like draw a monkey that's like in a good pose, I guess. It helped me a
Great.
lot.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Um, your sketches are just wonderful. They're
Thank
super
you.
clear. And if like I think one thing that in a scene like this is very easy to lose track of. Like
Yeah.
there's so much stuff going on, but like if you zoom into like even this area back there, it's like that is all still clear. And I think
Mhm.
when you're dealing with so much complexity, you have to your contours have to go a long way. Like they really
Yeah.
have to be able to kind of really truly show those different objects, and for us to be able to identify what those objects are. So it's great, but even still, you still have the odd like little descriptive detail of a little curve or something,
Mhm.
or a little like wrinkle of the shirt or whatever. So wow, yeah, you're great at like managing detail.
Thank you.
This is great. Wow. I'm actually really surprised you lost a mark in your personal work. There must have been a single thing that they saw. Or maybe they're just like, okay, well, we got to take one mark out somewhere. Yeah. Wow, great. Nice and dynamic poses. I'm loving these whole scenes, like people, environment, everything. Like you do remarkably well with like just all of that detail. So it's nice that you did a few of those.
Thank you.
That's great.
They're
Wow,
such a pain
Sherry.
in the ass to do, but I had to force myself to do a bunch
Yeah.
because, you know, I have to put something in my sketchbook.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Really nice. Holy. Great, great, great. Okay, so question time. So I'm going to go through your work again, and
Mhm.
then I've got these last few little questions for you. So
Yeah.
if you could do the whole thing again, what would you do differently?
Um, I try to actively not limit myself as much because a lot of like the things, like for example, the storyboard before, you know, when I was talking about like the perspective and the boring third panel at first,
Sure,
it was all like I didn't get there. Like I got there so late on because like my mindset was like, oh, but it has to be accurate, it has to be perfect, like that kind of thing.
sure,
I'd say I guess try to get some outward perspectives on what work you're doing if you feel like you're a bit stuck, and like don't trap yourself in the same mindset of like this needs to be perfect, because sometimes
sure.
you can like break a few rules and like it's okay to break
Yeah,
them, you know.
yeah, that's great. Like again, talking about this frame, bending the perspective. I mean, you're not breaking it, you're bending it, you're bending the
Yeah,
rules.
exactly.
And I think for the dramatic moment of that scene, it totally makes sense. So
Mhm.
that's a great example. Anything else?
um Start figure drawing early. Start
Yeah.
figure drawing early. I hear everyone say that, but I'm just gonna emphasize it. Like,
Yeah,
and do it if you're starting later. Do it as often as you can, because
sure.
it really, really helps with like
Yeah,
everything.
I bet.
I think because I've been doing it every day, probably. Figure drawing was probably one of the biggest things that helped me improve my art, like overall. Like I'd say everything, because even for
Great.
long poses, you have to shade them in sometimes, you know. So that would be
Yeah.
like values. So it can really,
Mm,
it's like it's a really, I wouldn't say easy. It's a really good way to improve like all your
sure.
work in general.
Yeah. And a lot of especially live drawing teachers love to wax poetic about this stuff and say like, th those forms that you're drawing in the human body, you will find those same forms. And the way that you have to approach drawing them, you will find that in all nature, trees,
Yeah,
cars,
exactly.
whatever, like whatever we see in the world
Hmm.
works in a similar way where you're fitting pieces together and putting some in front of others and dealing with depth and form and like it's just a body, but also it's everything. So,
Exactly. It's also
um,
like a big help to have to draw something in such a short amount of time because then it
sure,
helps you like look at everything else and be able to simplify that.
absolutely. Yeah, these are great. Really, really nice, nice figure drawing.
Thank you.
And was there some advice that someone gave you that was absolutely critical to your success?
Hmm. Um. Uh,
You seem pretty like like willed on your own to
I that's
make
definitely a
this
big part
work.
of it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think at the start it wasn't really advice, but it was more like what was going on around me.
yeah,
Like a lot of my friends were always talking about it, so I was like, when I decided to get into it, I was like, I was like, I need to look into this a lot, you know. So
yeah,
that definitely resulted in me getting very familiar with like the portfolio requirements and like being,
sure.
I'd say, mostly sure of myself in what I needed to do. And then along the way, I just looked at more and
Yeah.
I used references. So I don't know. I'd say that led me to like a good end result.
Sure. I would also emphasize that, I mean, you did tons of research, you redid projects again and again,
Yeah,
and you're clearly just a really hard worker.
it's
So I
yeah, it's
think,
definitely a big thing. It's like I
yeah,
just I I guess I made everything to the best of my ability.
I think absolutely. So that's what I would honestly take away. Do you feel like anything in your portfolio gave you an edge up on the competition?
I was thinking probably the colors in my personal work, just
Yeah.
because I'd say they're pretty vibrant.
Yeah.
Um, because for the whole portfolio, like I said before, it's all just like lines, black and white. So if
Yeah.
you include that, you can also use color in the end. I feel like that would kind of give you an edge up.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, really great colored scenes. I definitely agree. Um, And last and definitely not least, but with unlimited resources and staff at your disposal, what would
Oh
be
yeah.
the animated production that you would make one day?
Oh, I feel like the color script that we were looking at
Yeah.
before,
Hmm.
that's a story that I've been developing for quite a while actually. I think it was before, like a bit before I started working on the actual portfolio. So I really like these
Okay.
characters and the story itself.
Oh,
I'd
cool.
I'd like to do a fight scene because
Oh,
I
sweet.
think I really, really like fluid dynamic animation.
Yeah.
And I can imagine this like because there's a I have this whole scene planned out, like not planned out, but I have like an idea in my head. And I feel
Hmm.
like after this part, like I'd like to animate this part and then it cuts to like present day because like you said, childhood memories. So this is like when they're children. And it
Sure.
cuts to like present day, and then I could do like a I don't know, like a whole kind of dynamic fight scene with like probably also similar lighting to this, like at nighttime, evening.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think it would just be really fun.
Cool. That's great. There's so many good resources to, or like good fight scenes in the past that you could draw
Oh yeah,
inspiration
definitely.
from. So yeah, that would be, and especially with animation because you can do anything.
Hmm.
With live action, you need to like to train the actors to do it, but with animation, you need to just be able to like you can make things connect perfectly however
Yeah.
you want them to, right? Based on the
Hmm.
timing of the movement. So awesome. Wow. Well, that's great. Well, I can't wait for this to come out one day, Sherry. This is fantastic.
I will work on it.
Yeah, wow. Well, great portfolio. A huge congrats. And yeah, good luck at Sheridan. Thanks for doing this
Thank you so
interview.
much.
All
Yeah.
right, cool. Take care.